and thanks to Group Futurista for the opportunity to speak today on a very important topic and a very near and dear to me, project planning, wherein I will be going over the need to focus on this very important phase of the project and some of the best practices to consider in order to build a very strong foundation. Everyone can see my screen, right, Richard? Okay. Please feel free to interrupt. I know for the previous speaker, there were some issues on project on the presentation. Please feel to interrupt me if you are not able to see the transition of the slides or anything. Before moving on to the topic at hand, though, a brief background of my career and education. In 2005, I moved to the United States to complete the dual master's degree in electrical and computer engineering from Portland State University. Have been really fortunate in the last 15 years to work in different domains, different functional areas, ranging from software validation to quality to manufacturing to project management to account management, and now heading the project management office in Dana Corporation. I'm married, have one daughter, and for hobbies, I love playing tennis, travel, philately, and lately during COVID times, I picked up yoga and some gardening. How do you define that a project is a success? While everyone, even on this call, will have a different definition, for the context of this presentation, I will say that project, according to me, is a clear success if it is on time, under budget, with correct performance, which is acceptable to the customer and is per their requirement. If it is that easy, if this definition is that easy, why are projects all around us are failing? According to a large survey conducted by Pearson Education, they found out that software and hardware projects, the embedded programs, are failing at around 65% rate. Over half of all IT projects are becoming runaways. Only 30% of technology-based projects and programs are a success. And this is more astonishing. Only 2.5% of global businesses achieve 100% project success, and over 50% of global business projects are failing. Average success of business-critical application development projects is only 32%. And speaking about Iraq, in 2016, they found out that about approximately 42% of 1,200 Iraq reconstruction projects were eventually terminated due to either mismanagement or shoddy construction. These are really mind-boggling facts. And when Pearson Education started deep diving as to the reasons why these projects failed, it was not because of any new technology or any complex methodology, but you will be surprised to find what they found talking with the project participants. It was because of poorly developed or unclear goals or requirements, poorly defined project team roles and interdependencies, poor communication structure, the RASI communication structure, which our previous speaker was also referring to regarding the stakeholder matrix, stakeholder communication, the RASI definition. Misaligned, not defined initial and successive scope, budget, and schedule baselines, lack of project team motivation, poor leadership, and turnover, turnover among team members. These are easily avoidable, and most of these can easily be managed and if we have a strong foundation during the planning phase. Before going into the reasons and how do we manage the planning phase, I just want to make sure that we are all understanding the different phases and the life cycles which we have in different industries. Normally in most of the industries, we have 4 different life cycles. We have the conceptual or the initiation, sorry, where you need to identify a business need, a problem, or an opportunity, and brainstorm ways that your team can meet this need. During this step, you figure out an objective for your project. determine your project is feasible or not, and identify the major deliverables of the project. Then we move on to the planning. Once the project is approved and to move forward based on your business need, the statement of work or the project initiation document, then you move from the concept phase to the planning phase. The execution phase here, the execution phase basically turns your plan into action. And obviously the termination phase, which is the last phase of the project, which is the closure. The chart shows also the varied intensity levels for different metrics like client interest, project stake, resources, creativity, and uncertainty at different phases of the project. What we are seeing is the fast time to market in almost all the major industries, and what it is doing to our development time. So the development time is shrinking in almost all the industries. And what is happening to our project management is the teams are usually moving from this concept phase to the execution phase with minimum focus on the planning phase. The handover from the acquisition chase team during the concept phase to the development phase is not streamlined. Resource front loading, which is such an important factor during the planning phase, is always a bottleneck. Scope, cost, budget baselines are not clearly defined. Kickoff meetings are not conducted on time, and gate design reviews are not committed or planned as planned during the concept and the planning phase. So what can we do? What can we do to contain this and make sure that we have the best practices for planning phase? First, make sure that you have a proper handover between the acquisition and the development team members. As far as possible, have the same project manager handle the acquisition phase as the development phase. Define RASIC, and as PM, know all your internal and external stakeholders. This goes back to the point which the previous speaker was making. Really understand the needs, wants, and how do you want to prioritize your different stakeholders. Extremely important is to baseline your project scope. It doesn't matter whether you are in a waterfall, agile, scaled, anything, or any other hybrid mode. You need to baseline your project scope, budget, and schedule. And any delta planning can be added as a change request. And obviously, that change request, the cost of the change request, according to what you have planned, can be absorbed internally or externally, but you need to have it all documented properly. As project manager, don't be afraid to ask basic queries. Sometimes things are really missed on assumptions. I had an incident in the recent past where I just asked a very basic question: where is this project going to be developed? And nobody could tell me clearly how many locations we are using to develop a project. Those kind of basic questions project manager needs to ask, the leadership needs to ask, to make sure that we are all on the same page. Initiate the risk tracker early and track mitigation plan in team meetings. This goes back to the first discussion topic which we had after the Monday.com speaker, where the speaker really mentioned about how do you do risk management, issue management. This all goes back to that. Have your team meetings scheduled, make sure your risks are being tracked, your issues are being mitigated on timely basis. Have clear metrics defined in the project plan and track project performance based on that. And this goes back to the metrics which different speakers have mentioned in this session. To ensure resource front loading, have the key development team staff members identified during quotation phase, added as part of your toll gate requirement. So in all your industries, in any of your industries, actually, you must be having gate requirement, design review requirement. Have this as a very critical question to have a properly staffed team right at your planning phase to really go forward on the and really materialize it in the future. And last but not the least, this is really very simple, but a lot of industries don't really do this regularly. For product-oriented industries, involve manufacturing team right from quotation phase and ensure they are involved as part of all successive design milestones. Thank you. Richard, any questions for me?